Greetings, and thank you for reading this. Recently, few months ago, I've heard that Riot was going to rework Yorick. So at first I was rather, well, happy in a certain way. I wasn't totally happy because since Yorick was released, I was very interested in him because of his new mechanics with the ghouls, and the thought of being a necromancer was good. I mean, it seemed to be fun. So after few months, I actually purchased him. Didn't do it before because everyone else said that he was terrible, and immediately started to enjoy him a lot. Few time later he became my main champion. But there was something that was wrong with the champion. He was very good in the early stages because of his harass. Even though he literally drinks all his mana, being this what I thought of him at first. But after a lot of games, especially custom games, if you happen to check my account, you'll see very little amount of wins, even though I play this game since Season 1. I managed to figure out how to harass properly with Yorick without wasting much mana at all, and still do high amount of damage early on. And then I noticed how useless Yorick is endgame when building him tank. This happens because if Yorick goes tank, he's totally ignored in team fights. This happens because he has no decent CC to be worth attacking. And his damage endgame, even with the ghouls, isn't that much. So then I thought maybe I should go a little bit with more damage and check out how it goes. When I finally putted that thought to use, Yorick became a much better champion. Because he was no longer ignorable because of his ghouls damage, and since he has ranged abilities, I could pretty much do the same harass I did early game, but end game, anyway. The reason why I'm writing this letter is because few months ago I found out the most overpowered way to play Yorick. And also the most fun, not because it's overpowered, but yes, because it makes it more of their necromancer that I wanted at first. So me and a friend of mine went to test it out. What we did was going with Leona and Yorick to the bottom lane. And I went as playing with Yorick as an AD carry, but focused on armor penetration and damage, instead of the attack speed builded on regular AD carries. What happened was a score of 38 quarters, 3 suicides literally on the Nexus laser, and some assists. This happens because of two things. First, Yorick on the top lane would dominate against other bruisers, as we know. So I thought, what would happen if I do the same thing that I do on the top lane, but in the bottom lane, where AD carries are much easier to take down, and usually so are supports. In the top lane, Yorick would usually take enemy bruisers back to base, but rarely kill them. In the bottom lane you actually get fed up really fast, and the enemy carries have no chance of farming or getting kills. So if your team plays properly, you would have a very easy 20 minutes win. And second, Leona's passive in conjunction with Yorick's passive makes a massive amount of early game damage, instantly killing carries without any problem. Now the thing about the rework, which is expected to make him totally tank, I don't think he'll be of much use after, because when I saw his new passive and his skills, especially his ult, he'll be completely countered. The ghouls dealing 10% of his total AD and the health being only 25%. If the ghouls still give gold to the enemy, he'll be feeding ghouls to them when using his E to get health or whatever. They just need to kill the ghouls and run away, and it'll all be fine for what it seems. And the E will barely touch his health if Yorick goes tank or not. Because 50% of the ghouls damage being the damage of the ghoul, only 10%. It's just terrible. So my advice, or either my request, is to either put a decent heal or don't put it at all. Or make his healing for a percent of his max health or something alike. That of course if you really intend to make him a tank. Now overall the time I was playing with Yorick and testing builds, and having fun with him, will be all wasted if you will proceed with this new rework. Now what I really wanted was a real necromancer. A champion that summons his ghouls and stays back to enjoy the show. Which is literally what my carry build is all about, if you think about it. And I saw that Zelnath said that his ultimate was the reason why Yorick couldn't carry. Well, his ultimate is one of the reasons why I carry with him. If I decide to play safe in a team fight, I can use my W and my E in conjunction of my ultimate. And my physical damage will be around 2x 35% AD plus 75% AD equals 145% AD. And that is if I feel like staying at range. Because if I do not, I could pretty much deal in total only with basic attack including all the pets. Up 3x 35% AD plus 40 Omen of War plus 75% AD plus 100% AD plus 20% increased damage equals 300% plus 40 total AD damage. That goes to waste when you go tank. But when you have around 350 to 400 attack damage, believe it or not, it destroys people in team fights. I've killed plenty of champions only with the ghouls. This is the end of the letter. I know it's huge, but it had to be told, and if any of you is still reading it, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you consider what I've said.